Good evening, everyone. The Tuscaloosa City Council has now come to order. If you would, please stand. We're going to begin tonight's meeting with a prayer. Then if you would, please remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Let's bow our heads, please. Dear God, bless our proceedings tonight. Give us the wisdom to know what is just and the strength to do what is right. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Approval of the minutes.
I'll make the motion. We approve the minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes, voting, and welcome back, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Minutes stand approved. Proclamation statements by mayor and council. We have 3 proclamations tonight, so we're going to get right into those. And first is in recognition of Bloody Tuesday, which it's 59th anniversary occurred this past June 9th. And I believe we have Reverend O'Daniel and board members of Christ Baptist Church of Tuscaloosa that are here to receive this proclamation. And I see also the legendary Danny Steele back there as well. If you are here to receive the proclamation, would you please come forward? So let me read this proclamation in the record, and I want to begin by saying it doesn't do justice to the day. And on the 19th, we will be releasing a podcast, an extended podcast. I sat down and talked about Bloody Tuesday with Maxie Thomas and Danny Steele. It is, as I told Dr. Rush when I got back from recording the podcast, it was one of the most moving conversations I've had in my career. And I would encourage all Tuscaloosans to take a few moments out of your time just to understand the dynamics of that day and the courage of those who came out of First African Missionary Baptist Church to make a wrong a right. And certainly it is my honor to read this proclamation and put it into the record. It has been 59 years since a group of peaceful protesters planned march from First African Baptist Church to Tuscaloosa County Courthouse on June 9, 1964. And whereas the demonstrators were standing against segregated drinking fountains and restrooms at the county courthouse, these demonstrators were met with violence, resulting in 33 people being hospitalized and 94 arrested. And whereas this historic day in Tuscaloosa is known as Bloody Tuesday and has made a great impact on the city of Tuscaloosa due to the courageous acts of the demonstrators involved. And whereas since that day, leaders of this community have continued to advocate for change and have made Tuscaloosa a more diverse and inclusive city. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Walt Maddox, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby recognize Bloody Tuesday in Tuscaloosa and encourage all citizens to join me in recognizing this day. On behalf of a grateful city, I certainly am very proud to present this proclamation.
To the council and to the mayor, I'm honored and delighted and elated to accept this proclamation on the behalf of the Bloody Tuesday Committee. However, I would be remiss if I did not allow Mr. Danny Steele to come and give comments since he was there that day. Mr. Steele.
Good evening to the mayor, council. Thank you for that proclamation. And we hope that Bloody Tuesday will never be forgotten. We also hope that it would never be repeated. So the story must be told, and this is what we're doing with the Bloody Tuesday Committee. And we thank you for the proclamation.
Sir.
I would just like to say on behalf of all the members of the Bloody Tuesday Committee, we thank you very much for allowing us this opportunity, and God bless you all.
Thank you.
On behalf of the committee, but also the University of Alabama, where I direct the Summer Cell Center for the Study of the South, it's an honor to be part of this committee, but also thank you for your support and your appreciation. This was both a very difficult day in our city's history, but also one that I think points toward the future. As Danny suggested, it can never be forgotten, but also never be repeated. Thank you very much for your support.
And certainly, I would encourage all citizens, the historic nature of that day in Tuscaloosa, probably in Alabama in terms of violence, was only overshadowed by Selma. Many leaders that we've hold dear in Tuscaloosa were there that day. People like Charles Steele, Danny Steele, Maxie Thomas, Harrison Taylor, Dr. Irene Byrd, and others were there that day in Tuscaloosa and went on to take that experience and become leaders in our own community. It was a very, again, moving interview, Danny, with you and Mr. Thomas, and also the connection between First African Baptist Church, T.Y. Rogers, and Dr. Martin Luther King. Again, I would encourage everyone to please listen in. It's an extraordinary history, and it's certainly worth our time. It's something as a community we can be proud of. Thank you again for being here tonight. Let's give another round of applause.
Mayor, if you don't mind, but I would love to add Councilwoman Odessa Warwick to that list.
Absolutely.
Because she was there, of course, on
A
that day.
warrior.
And she was a warrior to her last day. Sure.
Thank you. And that's as you know, when you start adding people, you always leave somebody out, but certainly the warrior.
That's right.
Oh, yes. Transitioning to another group of individuals that I consider heroes that I work with every day, and that's the men and women within our Environmental Services Department. And I would ask Chris, I've already started mispronouncing his name. I tried to make it into one. Chris Meggs and his team, and I think we have several of our environmental service team members here. I want everyone to come forward. And that's an order. Come on. You don't get out of it.
Come on, Leatherwood.
Because I know we all feel this way. They do an amazing job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they
For
do.
the people. And statistically, it's actually the most dangerous municipal job. Statistically, more injuries and death occur in waste management and municipal government than any other discipline within municipal governments nationwide. And they certainly see it every single day. And so I am going to read a portion of this proclamation, but I can't tell you the number of compliments we get on the job that you do every single week. There's a compliment that comes through from a constituent, whether you went the extra mile, you did something special, and I know all these leaders up here feel the same. And so what I'm going to do is get to the most important part of this and then ask the council, because I know some of them may want to share the same exact thoughts that I had. So whereas the city of Tuscaloosa values and celebrates our environmental services workers for their service to our community and commitment to our city's residents and businesses, we are proud to join in the national recognition for Waste and Recycling Workers Week. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Walt Maddox, on behalf of a very grateful city council, do hereby proclaim the week of June 17th through June 23rd, 2023 to be Waste Recycling Workers Week in Tuscaloosa, and encourage all citizens to join me in extending a heartfelt appreciation to these valuable team members for keeping our community clean and beautiful. Let's give them another round of applause. And I may get in trouble with the clerk, but after Chris, and I'm not certain who you would like to say a few words, I'd like all of us to take a picture with these,
Amen.
with these true public servants. So Chris, if you'd come forward, Mr. Meggs. And by the way, Mr. Meggs worked a shift yesterday, and he told me he's doing another route tomorrow. So he's already been put to work in environmental services. Mr. Meggs.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. It's an awesome group of guys, very important to our community and very important to the city of Tuscaloosa. They're amazing. They touch every one of your constituents on a daily basis. We average 600 to 800 carts touched per day per truck. So we're running 5 to 7 trucks a day. So you can do the math. We're touching over 4,000 homes a day. So it's impressive. I'm happy to be a part of this group, and they're a great bunch of guys. Thank y'all again.
I think as the mayor said it great, and you know how much you're appreciated. I think you guys, I'm telling you, if you want to get somebody upset, let your garbage not be picked up for one day. And I said, then you'll know that you're the most important people in the city of Tuscaloosa.
There
that's
you
for
go.
sure.
I've told the mayor, I told Chris, I told some of y'all, but I go to these homeowners association meetings and I get many people talking about what a great job you do. I had a man tell me he moved here from Huntsville, and you guys do a much better job than they do in Huntsville. And thank you, thank you.
Why don't we just,
Yeah, they stand in front of us.
hey, Mayor, why don't we just stand?
Okay.
You can't see the camera, you're not gonna be in it, so be sure. Yeah, right? Okay, on three, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we take a few. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, Donnie though, Donnie though.
I've already told him.
Like he knows the definition.
Oh, no.
No, never.
Okay, wait. Do we have another one?
Last but certainly not least on tonight's agenda, I'd like to ask, I think we have Alexia Wynn, Jamala Cooper, and Alexis Cosby Harris here tonight. I am going to do my best. I was telling Brandy I'm learning something new, and that's one of the things I love about this. This is the first time that I can remember in my career that we have acknowledged and will be recognizing Vitiligo Awareness Month. And certainly, I think, are the recipients here? Please, come on up. Come on up. Don't be shy. Not the moment to be shy. Because this is a good opportunity for all of us as city leaders, but certainly the public at home, to learn about it. And so I want to make certain I'm pronouncing it right. Vitiligo? Vitiligo. All right. Brandy, you were right as always. Whereas vitiligo is an autoimmune skin disease causing loss of pigment from areas of the skin, resulting in irregular white spots or patches. It affects more than 2 million Americans, 1 out of 100 people worldwide. It can appear at any age, and the effect affects people of both genders, all races, and ethnicities. And whereas while this condition is not typically associated with physical pain, the psychological and social effects can be significant for many affected individuals, especially children and those with darker skin. And whereas approximately 15 to 25% of people with vitiligo are also affected at least with one other autoimmune disorder. And whereas researchers and medical professionals are working to better understand and treat vitiligo, although there are currently no known cure, treatments are available that can help with repigmentation, especially if it's begun early and used consistently. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Walt Maddox, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of June 2023 to be Vitiligo Awareness Month in Tuscaloosa, and encourage upon citizens to increase awareness, like myself tonight, and understanding and supporting individuals within our community. And so I certainly want to thank you for being here tonight, bringing this to our attention, because it's so important.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alexia Wynn, and I am the state chapter for Lady Ligo, Alabama. In the month of June, we celebrate Vitiligo Awareness Month, but on June 25th, we have World Vitiligo Day, where we come together and we spread awareness. We strive to ensure that vitiligo community and our allies are educated and empowered while holding institutions accountable for delivering person-centered care. We strive to empower, educate, and raise awareness with care and accurate information to create a culture that celebrates people with all our differences. I am just so grateful that we got this approval. This is something that has been dear to me. I was diagnosed with vitiligo at the age of 13, and this would be my 7th year being an advocate for vitiligo. I will be soon hosting an event here in Tuscaloosa, so I'll be able to share that information with the mayor and city council and others as well on social media. And I'm just so grateful for being here tonight, and bless you all. And thank you for just supporting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. My name is Jamila Cooper, and just to piggyback off of Alexia, we're grateful for this opportunity. And what we want people to know most, I guess, about vitiligo is because we often get asked the question, what is that? Or something similar. So we just really want people to know it's just something that happens. It is absolutely not contagious. It is almost never even hereditary. It's extremely random. Literally less than 2% of the world population have it. So I like to refer to it as like naturally occurring body art. And it's just a cool thing. We get to, it's a conversation piece, and it's another beautiful variation of humanity. And we just would like to use the month of June to help people who don't have it understand more about what it is, and help the people who do have it to embrace it, because it, like it was stated, coming up with it, it can be a challenge sometimes. A lot of us who have it were born completely pigmented, and it just began at some point, the melanocytes started to not make the pigment anymore in certain places. And so that can be difficult to talk about, it can be difficult to explain, it can be difficult to live with. So we just ask for people to just take the time to learn a little bit more about it, so when you come across someone who has vitiligo, then you know what you're looking at, and you know to not be insensitive, and things like that. So once again, we appreciate your time tonight, and we thank you for this proclamation today. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Hello, I'm Melinda Green. I really didn't expect to speak, but thank y'all so much for this. One thing we always say is don't stare, become aware. And it's important for people to be aware of what we're dealing with. One of the things I hate is to be out and about and to see a little kid and they get scared and their parent hit them or something like that because they like, what happened to you? And I say, don't hit them. It's okay. They can ask questions. So, just to make people aware of what's going on, because the parent don't know what to say. So, with this, they'll become more aware of what's going on so they can know how to handle that child that's curious about what's going on. So thank y'all so much for this. This means a lot to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name's Alexis Cosby Harris. Thank y'all so much for this opportunity. I actually gained vitiligo when I was 6 years old, just randomly. And it was a challenge growing up, but kind of as I got older, I started to learn what it was, and I understood that it was kind of random, like none of my family has it. And it was just like, well, I'm the special one, that's great. But any kids, they walk up to me, they're like, what's going on, what's wrong? And their mom would be like, don't ask her that. I'm like, it's okay, I promise. I'm like, I'm special, like I have black and white skin, and it's cool, it's vitiligo. And they're like, vitiligo? And I'm like, yes, like good job. So yeah, it's really good to kind of have people aware and notify people what it is, and, if they get it, it's random and it's okay. Nothing's wrong with them. They're just special. So, yeah, thank y'all.
Thank y'all. See my church now.
That's, Mr. President, that's all I have for tonight. Does the council have any statements or anything they'd like to announce?
Yes, Mayor, and I just want to say this so that I can be reminded. But when we get to agenda item on page 35, I would like to ask that that be tabled, and hopefully to be supported. That it'll be tabled just so we can have a discussion about it, and I just want a little bit more information. I want to make sure that my understanding is correct.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
The mayor and council, I left the United States of America one way. And when I came back affirmed as a man. I came back affirmed in my own heritage that I come from great people, that I represent great people. And I want to thank, first of all, Mr. Busby, his conversation, Mr. Fell, who brought it up first, and then Kip Tyler, who said, you want to go to Africa? Norman Crow said, it's going to be fun. Raven Howard said, you're going to meet my friends. Cassius Lanier said, brother, you going for the home team. So I didn't just represent Tuscaloosa. I represented the whole United States of America. And I'm getting emotional because I take that very seriously as I sat and talked to, and I didn't go for a luxury trip. I went to learn and to be taught, to sit, to talk to chiefs, governors, people who look like me, changed my life forever. And I came back here today affirmed. And I say this, you will see that I've been affirmed. You will know that I've been affirmed. I had the opportunity to go and watch a man take multiple hours to weave a garment. I know that we are considered part-time employees, but we represent this city in a full-time manner. And so I have some willing workers and people who love me down in Marion, Alabama. And I said, I want to make sure that I show the city of Tuscaloosa, the council and the mayor, how proud I am that I was able to be afforded the opportunity to represent my family, my city, and my country. And I take that very seriously. And so I asked the person, I said, will you make me some of these? These were made by hands and feet. It's blood, sweat, and tears. And I made sure that they were taken care of. And I have each and every last one of you one tonight that was made, tailored to you. And the first person tonight is Mayor Walt Maddox.
Good deal, Matt. Look at my Matt.
Look at that.
The second one tonight is Councilor Cassius Lanier. You are a chief. Third one tonight is Councilor Lee Busby. fourth one tonight is Councilor Crowe. Fifth one tonight is Councilwoman Howard. Councilor President Tyler. Last but not least, man who has been to Africa before, Mr. John Fail. Let me say thank you again to Sister Cities International, Ms. Lisa Keys, who's a great woman, who planned an exceptional trip, and they will be here later on to talk about it. This trip has been a life-changing moment in history for me, and it's been my hope that those of you who saw those pictures and saw the commentary would see that it wasn't just an enjoyable trip for me, it was a trip to change my life, to come back to help change the culture in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Wilson, for representing our city, and thank you for these gifts.
Yes,
Are
made in Ghana.
are there any other council?
Yeah, Mayor, before we move on, Ms. Howard, expressed a desire to table the internal rules change on page 35. I'm assuming that's done via a motion, a second, and a vote to table,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and state my intent up front,
Okay,
but yeah,
thanks.
it's the normal procedure.
Yeah.
Any other council questions?
Just an announcement that the mayor's going to be with me at Jack's Saturday morning at 7:30 to 9:30. You don't have to be there at 7:30. They'll hopefully have coffee all the way to 9 o'clock. So come join us at Jack's on Skyline East, whether you're in District 6 or wherever you might be.
Yeah, one more, Mayor. This Thursday, I will be having a community meeting with, at 5 o'clock with the young club goers and people who attend local clubs around in Tuscaloosa, West Alabama, to try to make them aware of their responsibility of keeping our community safe. It's not just on TPD or city council, fire department, they have responsibility as well, because if the venue is closed down, then they have to play their part. So I wanna speak with them, so I'll be at the Belk Center at 5 o'clock, meeting with the youth and the community. Thank you.
Mayor, I would just like to give a thanks to Parkwood Circle for hosting their neighborhood meeting and inviting me on Saturday morning, and for the Sutton Place neighborhood meeting, Sutton Place and Skyland Park neighborhood meeting that myself and Cassius were able to attend last night. And so I appreciate those neighborhoods. They always do a great job of hosting meetings and keeping me informed of their issues.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And Mr. Fell, certainly, I forgot to put the slide up during my announcements. I will be with Mr. Fell, who I think he started something, and we're going to carry along with him. We'll be at Jack's, as he mentioned, Saturday, June 17th, from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. It's come and go, and the sausages and coffee's on me. Come by, get a cup of coffee, sausage, and tell me what's going on and what's on your mind. And you don't, as Mr. Fell said, you can be anywhere in the city. Just come on out if there's anything on your mind. Do we have any other announcements? Any agenda item comments by citizens?
No, sir.
Unfinished business, clerk?
This approves a bar tavern as a conditional use for grandstand.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Mr. Pons or Ms. Hayes?
Good evening, council. So this was tabled from last week, and we'll just go back through. This is a conditional use application for a bar at 2209 4th Street. It's grandstand. So here's an aerial view of that property, and then a view from the street. This is in the old Will Hagen's location, most recently the Honky Tonk. So again, this is a conditional use. Bar tavern is subject to review by city council. You are considering their occupancy, hours of operation, a proximity to like establishments, public safety plan, and plan to reduce possible nuisances. So per Tuscaloosa Fire, their occupancy is currently at 375. Their hours of operation are Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10:30, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 2 p.m. to 2 a.m., and Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 a.m. Per the petitioner, they have staff in place to handle safety procedures during operating hours, security cameras and emergency lighting in place. Employees are trained on how to handle emergency situations. Patrons will be using public parking or transportation. They have trained their security during busy times to control occupancy and check IDs. And last call will be announced prior to closure. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Any questions, Ms. Hayes? Okay, thank you. Is the petitioner here? Is the applicant here? If you would, please come forward and give your name and address.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Rajvinder Singh, 491 Camille Lane, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 35405.
Any questions?
Tell us, if you will, Raj, what you are now and what you're asking to.
Currently, we're a restaurant, asking to go to a bar. We did previously apply for gastropub. We're denied that.
Right.
Requesting to go to a bar just because it's easier to control when you're able to control the age limits to come in. Also, dealing with food right now, the cost of goods are very high, not making much profit, spending more labor to stay open. So if we were to want to stay open late right now, we keep the kitchen open, full staff, full menu, and just not feasible right now.
You know, I've been following you in this case for some time now. And one thing that, as I was driving and listening to everyone talk even about this, we want to make sure that you have a safe environment.
Yes, sir.
All of Tuscaloosa. All of Tuscaloosa. All of Tuscaloosa. That when people come in your establishment, that they know that there's a certain culture and a certain standard that will be allowed, and there are things that won't be allowed.
Yes, sir.
That's all I have.
Any other questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chief Blankley?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Earlier, we spoke at pre-council about this. The police department is against this. We are worried about staffing issues. I'm not going to re-go over everything I went over earlier in pre-council, but I would be happy to answer any questions that y'all might have.
Any questions of Chief Blankley? All right, thank you, Chief. When this was introduced, I believe this was a public hearing. Is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? If you would, please come forward and give your name and address.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. My name is Christopher Gayton. I'm one of the managers at Grandstand. I live at 1100 17th Street in Tuscaloosa. I want to talk more about our security measures because I don't feel like the council is fully informed about our security measures. So if I could, I would like to spend a minute if that's okay. So we do have 13 cameras strategically placed throughout the venue. We have someone watching the floor and doing walkthroughs every 15 minutes. There are 3 managers on shift every time we're open. We have no call-outs to our location since we have been open. We understand, Mr. Wilson, that you and the entire council want a safe bar, right? And we do feel like us as managers and employees are the first line of defense, so we don't have to call on Chief Blankley because we share his concerns as a company about, you know, what happens, what if, right? So we've done our training on how to de-escalate situations, so we, knock on wood, never have to call the chief. But Chief, we do share your concerns, so do want you to know that. Last week, we talked about having bars policing itself, and we feel like with our business plan, we are that bar, right? Also, the number of people, I keep hearing the number of people is an issue. And I just want you guys to know, I've been keeping track of the numbers, like I've stated numerous times before. Hardly ever have we gone over 200 people, even as a restaurant. I think we went over 200 once. But, you know, I know fall's around the corner and that 375 can be scary, but we have been working and practicing for when fall comes, you know? And I guess that's basically it. If you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Is there anyone else that wishes to address City Council tonight?
Whose district is this?
Seeing none, any questions from the City Council before we call a vote?
Councilman, is this Matthew, your district?
I am going to support this. I believe in giving you an opportunity. And so I'm going to stand on what my values tonight.
And this is your district?
Yeah, it is my district.
I'm going to go ahead and state why I'm going to vote no, because I am concerned about the occupancy of this bar, the location of this restaurant or bar, this establishment, and I'm concerned about issues with our public safety. So I am a no vote on this one.
Any other council comments before we call a vote? Seeing none, voting Mr. Lanier.
No.
No.
At a, at a lower negotiated capacity, I would support this. I will not support it as it is tonight. No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, the vote fails. Clerk.
This approves a lounge retail liquor license at Grandstand in Tuscaloosa.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Mr. Mills.
Okay, Mayor and Council, this is ABC Alcohol Application 23-047 for a lounge
Wait a minute,
retail
what
liquor
was that?
Class 1 located at 2209 4th Street, Unit 10. It's for Black Warrior Burgers LLC, DBA Grandstand. This is the map of a location of the location. The second picture shows a street view, which is going in Old Will Hagens. All of my reports have been filed with the City Clerk Office. Chief Blankley will come give his report, followed by the applicant to answer any additional questions you may have.
Okay. Chief?
According to this, there's no instance at this location. Pull the next slide of the heat map, you know where it's at. We're going to have public intoxications and other things in that general area and disorderly conduct. Police Department does not support this application as previously stated.
Thank you.
Chief, I believe there have been a whole series of meetings regarding this petition. You've gone into greater detail of your public safety concerns. Could you kind of condense those in for this public hearing?
From pre-council of our public safety concerns?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I'd be happy to. As everybody knows, the police department is fully stretched on our staffing issues. There's a high occupancy area already in that 4th and 23rd Timerson Square area. We believe by increasing it and having a bar, liquor license, and more people in the area, it becomes a public safety harm that creates an unsafe environment. I think at some point we have to cap the amount of liquor license and bars that we allow in the city of Tuscaloosa, because we're doing all that we can do and we can't be stretched any further. Our number one goal in the city of Tuscaloosa as a police department is to keep it safe, and that's what we're doing every day, but we need to relook at how we're doing bars, and we feel like this would be a public safety issue.
Thank you, Chief. Any more questions, Mr. Holmes? Thank you, Chief.
So I have a question. If, Antonius, the lounge retail liquor license is the one that would go with a bar tavern?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So if we didn't approve conditional use as a bar tavern, we're still voting on a retail liquor.
Yes, sir, it is still before you, kind of the way, as you recall, we've talked about it a couple times, the zoning side of this, the special condition coming before you guys on each of these things is a newer thing. We're working through the processes. Frankly, I would prefer that we not process these applications until the zoning side is done. But I would expect at this point, one of the grounds for council to deny alcohol application is the underlying zoning doesn't support it, which in this instance it wouldn't based upon council's previous vote.
So, Mr. Mills, on this approval of the license, statewide, if they get approved by the state, what jurisdiction, level of recourse would the city have against that?
Okay, so if the city denied and they go for an
Yes.
appeal, so if it's denied, they had a process to go through an appeal process at circuit court. At that time, if it's denied, at that point, they can submit a request to go before the state ABC board to approve the process. If they approve it, then it actually becomes, they get approved for their liquor license.
So then, if the state approves it, let's say for instance, they go to the state, and what jurisdiction then does the city have? What recourse does the city have?
And we'll treat them as any other business, but they're allowed to get purchase a lounge retail liquor license. So basically, we support the state. We would have to support the state on their final decision.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Mr. Mills or Chief Blankley or Mr. Holmes? Seeing none, this is, well, first is the applicant. Would the applicant want to address city council? Okay. The applicant does not wish to address city council. This was a public hearing when it was introduced. Anyone here wish to speak for or against? Seeing none, voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
No.
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 Application is denied. Clerk.
This approves a bar tavern as a conditional use for crew lounge.
Move adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Ms. Hayes?
Is it hot here, y'all?
Mayor and council, we have another conditional use application. This is for Crew Lounge. It's down 69 South. They are requesting to operate as a lounge. So here's an aerial view of that. This is in the Hillcrest Shopping Center. And then a closer, it was most recently a restaurant. And here is their hand-drawn floor plan. We'll skip through that conditional use criteria. So this location does have an occupancy of 68. That's what it was previously when it was a restaurant, and it will not change with this. Their hours of operation are gonna be on Sundays from noon to 2 a.m., Monday through Saturday, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. They will be serving food during these times. As for their public safety plan, they will employ between 15 to 20 employees. One of the owners has completed TIPS alcohol training. They do have an ADT security system that will have cameras at the entrance and inside the establishment. Security personnel will be stationed at the front and inside. They will check IDs with the use of an ID scanner and be trained thoroughly to identify acceptable forms of IDs and fake IDs. They also originally had stated something about having an off-duty police officer, but I'll let Chief touch on that a little bit more. Their plan is to serve food the entire time. They're gonna have hookah. They just want to limit from 21 up. Do I have any questions for me?
Any
Can
questions,
you,
Ms. Hayes?
yes, sir. Can you go back to the first page? No, the second one? Third one, yeah, yes. So what are their hours of operation again?
This is their hours of operation, Monday through Saturday, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., and then Sundays, noon to 2 a.m. And they do say they're gonna serve food during all these times.
No, alcohol service stops at 9:30
Right.
p.m.,
On
correct?
Sunday.
Right. That's what I
Last
thought.
call at 9, and drinking at 9:30.
Right.
So they'll just, I believe the applicant is here, so they can touch on, I would assume that they'll just go into full food service at that point if they do decide to stay open.
Okay. Can you go back to the next page? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, Ms. Hayes? Thank you. If the petitioner or petitioner's representative would come forward and please give your name and address.
Thank you, Council. Brad McGibney. I represent Racked Up LLC, doing business as Crew Lounge. My address is 2800 Shades Crest Road, Birmingham, Alabama, 35216. Also have another representative here with Crew Lounge.
Yeah, I'm Alan Bailey. Good afternoon to the mayor and the council. My address is 3203 Bowling Drive, Fairburn, Georgia, 30213.
Would you, anything you would like to present before taking any questions?
Sure. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak. I'll try to be brief because I know we've been over this a couple of times. To start off with, I believe that those hours that are indicated are what the national franchise hours are, and obviously we would abide by any local time limitations or hours imposed by Tuscaloosa or any city. We've already discussed this about this being starting this off as a restaurant application, and but there was a concern based on one of the ABC requirements that we would not be able to sell principally more food than alcohol. Off the record, everybody talks about it being at least 51% food sales, but in our situation, we were concerned about whether we would be able to meet that 51%. So we worked with the ABC board and changed it to a lounge license application. And so one other issue is the lease that we have requires a minimum of 40% food sales. So this isn't your typical lounge club kind of license where you're just going to have people buying alcohol only. This is we have food, we have a full kitchen, and we will be required per the lease agreement to sell at least 40% food. The menu has quite a bit of higher end items that ranging from $13 per item to $22 per food item, and those are sold a la carte. So your sides are extra, starting at $5 a piece. This is not a typical kind of burger and fries location. We have lamb chops, we have shrimp, salmon, lobster, mac and cheese, things of that nature. Now, what I'd like to talk a little bit about are the owners. The actual owners of the LLC are all involved in law enforcement. They're all involved as correction officers, and one of the benefits to that is not only do they know how to de-escalate an issue that may arise before the police are called, but they also are trained on how to prevent any escalation period. So they understand how to keep things calm and make other people calm and prevent things like that from happening. I would like to talk a little bit about the security. The indication in there that we would hire off-duty police officers. We understand that Tuscaloosa has a rule or an issue involved with that. We do not want to burden the police department by any means. And we have actually already contacted Patriot Security, a security company, to provide both security at the door and inside, as well as outside on Saturdays and Sundays. We're also interested and willing to provide security outside if there are any other, if it becomes necessary, if other days during the week are required. We do have 10 security cameras throughout the location, inside and outside. I believe the last applicant said they had 13, and I don't know what the size of it was, but I think they were like 300 plus occupancy. They had 13 cameras. We have 10 in a much smaller location that's only allowed for 68 for the certificate of occupancy. And I think that's maybe.
I won't spend half of the time, so I just wanted to come up because I think from a standpoint of Crew, we wanted to give them more insight of what Crew is, right? Because I think when you hear the name, so Crew Lounge has a total of about 30 plus locations throughout the country. Hence, we just opened up 2 weeks ago in West Palm Beach, Florida. locations in Texas, Vegas, 8 in Atlanta, Arizona. So the name of fruit, we have a couple locations. The biggest part for me, honestly, I'm from Tuscaloosa, so just hearing your story made me a little impactful. I just want to say, like, outside of that restaurant and the lounge atmosphere, it truly is a business concept that I got behind and my wife got behind. As y'all can see, I'm pretty young still. But my wife was like, anytime we used to come back home and visit Northport, because I'm from Northport, she was like, where do we go? Because we don't want to go out to a club, honestly. But she doesn't want to also go to Texas Roadhouse every time. So crew was kind of that middle part of, hey, I don't want to take you to go to dinner once again, but we're kind of out there, and no knock to anybody, but we're out of that group where we want to go party, honestly. So crew is kind of the concept. That's the nature behind it. So you kind of get a flow. Like I said, it's reservation based, so it's a spot, once again, there's a 2-hour limit if you go to our website, and that's across the country. So 2-hour limit, you book a reservation at 6 o'clock, you have your table 6 to 8, you get waited on, you're able to have, like I said, that experience. Our average ticket price too, like I said, I haven't been home in a little while, but for a lounge, I don't think you're going to a lounge spending $68. So across the board, the average ticket price at Crew Lounge is about $68, give or take on the visit. And I think that's honestly in a nutshell, just to kind of give you guys more of what Crew is as a concept.
Thank you. Any questions?
I do. I just want to make sure I understood correctly. The terms of your lease are that your revenues must consist of at least 40% food sales, correct?
Correct.
And I assume that after some failure of some small number of months, that then would result in a termination of the lease if you're not doing that?
Correct.
Okay.
Woody,
Wait.
this is in my district, and so, like everything in my district, I'm concerned about the safety of the community, and then how this business will fit into that. So would you be willing to negotiate or change some of your hours of operations on some days?
Yeah, and actually, I think he spoke on it. I'm sorry if we didn't do that. So right now, we are definitely open to changing it across the board. Like I said, some markets, to be example, in Atlanta, in some of our locations, we close at 1 instead of the 2 and 3 because of the area that we're in. Sundays, most of our locations all close at 12, and 2 of our locations out west have to close at 10 due to the liquor and alcohol sales. So we are open to changing that, but just across the board, we have like a standard.
And what about, it was mentioned before, when it came to security or problems at this location, do you have any plans about security in your parking lots or side of your establishment? Like, what is that going to look like?
Yeah, so like you shared, we have reached out to some companies already for our security, but we will for sure have security inside the facility as well as outside. And when I say outside, not just from a corporate standpoint, Crew, we have patrol. So it's not just saying outside the facility, it's actually patrolling the facility. So actually monitoring the parking lot and not just being stationed here.
Any other questions?
Thank you, first of all, for coming. I want to affirm you and what you're trying to do. Thank you for how you came dressed, business ready, talk business. I want to ask you one question. And I asked you this on the Zoom. Why Tuscaloosa?
So like as he shared, we had a Zoom call where we offered to do a presentation for anyone that was able to make it. Tuscaloosa, like I said, is a very special place, not only because home, but I'm not gonna take too passionate because I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Like you shared your story going to Africa. I actually met with you, Mayor, when I was in, I want to say 11th grade, believe it or not. I graduated from Tuscaloosa County High. I was on the ambassador's board for the mayor. Did a lot of different things, but
Had to be about 2 years ago.
right.
Yeah.
So what had happened, why Tuscaloosa, to bring it full circle, is I truly remember going to County High, seeing my friends go to UA, talk about parties and different things, but I never felt like I could be that person to own that type of environment, to be a part of that type of environment. And now I got to the opportunity. I was successful to graduate, went to college at UAH in Huntsville, ended up getting to go international. So I studied abroad at Hohai University in Asia and China, where I completed my MBA and started my PhD. and then coming back to the States. Like I said, I live in Georgia, but I haven't had the opportunity until the owners came up to say, hey, let's look into Tuscaloosa. And no joke, like I said, outside of this, people follow me and to see me from this community to be able to come back and even be at a meeting like this is impactful, honestly. Like if you probably saw me in the back taking pictures, posting, I've already had 85 people say, oh, you're coming back home. So it's just the impact that I feel like I can make on the community because of what I do outside of, honestly, my day-to-day. So I'm a senior director for MTV. I've also worked for Target, BET, a couple of different companies, but at the end of the day, Tuscaloosa is who made me, who built my brand. So what better way I could bring that back to the community that built me.
And you talked about the law enforcement officers who are currently working and that you're a local native, seeing the benefit that will give jobs, of employment, will give recreation, seeing pictures of what you have already done. What has been your, if you could give me a roundabout estimate of what has been your investment in this particular property?
If I say roundabout, I'll probably say something roughly about $122,332.70 roughly.
And how long did it take you to get all of this stuff done?
We started anywhere between November, communication-wise.
Last year?
Last year.
So you've been working November to right now?
Yes, it just.
So 7 months?
Correct. You can't open a crew lounge. Once again, like, crew doesn't allow you to, obviously being a franchise, if y'all know you pay a franchise fee. We just say at Chick-fil-A, right, you have to pay a franchise fee. Just because you have the money, crew doesn't allow you to just say, hey, I have the money to open a crew. You have to go through a thorough application for crew individually. And then you also have to do what we call a case study, meaning you have to come to one of our crew locations, to be exact 3 of them, and then we have to see how an owner operates in that environment.
So this is just not any just pop-up like establishment. This is a very legitimate chain of establishments.
We've denied 32 applications from Tuscaloosa before these.
How many?
32.
How many you say you put in?
We've denied 32 people that have tried to open a crew in Tuscaloosa based on application process.
Wow. Phenomenal.
Any other questions?
I just wanted to make sure so the reservation, all occupants have to have a reservation, right?
Correct. And so from a capacity, just to kind of put you guys to say, reservations booked through Resi, which is a national platform, right? So what happens is you go online. Me and my wife are looking to celebrate our anniversary. It's going to say I book a reservation at 8 o'clock. Once it hits a certain number, it obviously gets removed. So there's no way for us to overbook. Once it actually is booked, our system talks to each other, and it lets us know that that table is taken away.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome home.
Thank you, council, and we appreciate your consideration.
Thank you.
Chief Blankley?
Good evening once again, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
We've spoke about this in pre-council, but I will kind of go into detail. The Tuscaloosa Police Department is against this application. We feel that, we're looking at those hours of operations. This is a bar. It's 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. We have this type of operation already in Tuscaloosa. We've seen it before. It's nothing personal against the applicants. I understand they're in law enforcement. I appreciate what they do every single day. But when it comes down to the fact that we believe it's going to be a bar environment, it's going to stretch our resources even more, and the parking lot is also a concern. It has a very large parking lot. If they're full inside, we believe it will overflow into the parking lot, and we will have issues there. So the police department is heavily against this application. I'll answer any questions you have.
That parking lot's pretty, it's got a lot of places in it where you can't see anything. I mean, it's really, I was out there the other day, and it's really broken up around that building. I mean, from a security standpoint, it would be difficult.
Yes, sir.
So, Chief, let me ask you this question. You knowing that they are law enforcement, is there a particular way of training that all law enforcement go through, regardless of where you're from? Training, I guess, a particular.
If you're A-Post, you go through the A-Post Academy. I'm not sure if they're A-Post law enforcement. And their aspect of being law enforcement doesn't influence my decision one way or the other. I'm gonna treat every
I
application.
didn't ask you that though, Chief.
Yeah, I know, I was just
I didn't, I just wanted to know if the type of training,
I don't know what training they've received, sir.
okay. So can I ask them, what,
Any other questions of Chief? Okay. Mr. Wilson, you have a question?
yes, sir, I have a question for the, owners. Are you all APOS certified?
If the owner, if you can, if someone is new that's speaking, if you can, come up and give your name and address.
They are.
APOS certified? Are you APOS certified?
If you would, before you answer Counselor Wilson's question, if you would give your name and address. Thank you,
Good
Mr.
evening. My name is Darren Kennedy, 1600 Farmington Road, Birmingham, Alabama.
Are you APOS certified?
No, sir, not with the Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons. But we actually go through the federal law enforcement training facility in Brunswick, Georgia, which they also train Custom Borders and Protections, U.S. Marshals, FBI, Secret Service. We all go to the same training facility, and we get training by Custom Borders and Protection and the Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Prisons.
So what's the difference in the two
The Custom Borders and Protection, we actually go through.
versus APOS, I guess? What's the difference in your training versus APOS?
I think the APOS is the Alabama,
Right, Chief, that.
It's gonna come down to arrest powers in the state of Alabama.
Gotcha.
Any other questions from the council? If you would, please give your name and address.
How y'all doing? Mayor, Council, my name is Andrea Campbell.
An address.
5309 Baggett Drive, Pinson, Alabama.
So my question to you, are you APOS certified?
Last time I checked, we were APO certified. We can't arrest on the street, but we go through a academy. We are APO certified.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Does anybody live in Tuscaloosa? Back there, okay.
One more question.
Thank I'm sorry, Mr. Lenny.
I know Councilwoman Howard spoke with them, and I talked to them earlier about being able to adjust the time of service.
Yes, we'll.
I even spoke with them about doing the weekday. That was late for me, so they said that they would adjust appropriately. Maybe we could set up a time. You can meet with them or something, but we'll have to get it in, you know.
Okay, and I got one more thing to say.
Okay.
Been in law enforcement 15 years. I know y'all don't know me for a can of paint, but I do my job. You know, I put my all in everything I do. If I knew that, and no disrespect to the chief, that this was a bad decision, I wouldn't dare put my career on the line for this. We got 6 to 8 people, and I promise you, we're gonna do what we have to do to make sure this lounge is right.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
If I may make one more quick comment. I was talking.
Give you 1 minute, and then we're going to close.
Real fast. I was talking to Andrea today, and we were talking about what her job duties and what she said she has employees under her, and she said if somebody shows up 2 minutes late, she fires them. That's how much of a rule follower she is, and she intends to do that and bring that. They all do.
Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Seeing none, any comments before I call a vote with Mr. Linden?
Yes, I would like to make a comment. Mayor, you know, today during our special call public safety meeting, we talked about the resolution that we asked to be drafted. And so a decision like this is exactly why I am happy for us having a resolution to give, you know, our public safety officials a chance to, our public safety department a chance to be able to breathe and for us all to be able to discuss and come up with what we think is best for protecting our city, doing what's best for our business district, doing what's best for our police department. So I would like to say that because of the occupancy, because of the proximity to where this bar or tavern, this business is located, that I am in favor of it. I would like to see them tailor or change their hours of operation, not just during the week, but on the weekend. I would like to make sure that security is strictly enforced, not just inside the building or at the door, but in the parking lot. Their lease had I feel like their lease had a lot of strength in it that I don't know if another lease for other establishments of this type have, such as, a minimum of 40% for food sales. So I feel like with them being a new establishment, I do want to give them an opportunity to operate, but I do want them to know that I am very much so concerned about the public safety of my community, because my community is a very unique district. And so I need, our police officers to not be exhausted and overworked, and I need them in my community. I need them to show up when we call. So if anything is not going as planned, then I'm going to be the first person to notice it and recognize it and say, hey, we need to shut the doors on this quickly. So I just want to say that I am in favor of it. And with 68 people, I hope that this is something that you guys can be successful at business-wise, but also as a safety standpoint.
Ms. Howard, if I may, and Mr. Tyner, if I may, if the council is leaning towards adoption of this, any sort of conditions would need to be adopted
beforehand.
in this meeting.
That's right.
Or else they will not be bound by it if
To be
the approval is
enforced.
granted, and subsequently the alcohol license.
right.
So, Mr. Holmes, if you would touch on that.
Yes, ma'am, and council, certainly hours, if hours are something you wanted to address, but also lease conditions. That's something that's come up in other establishments where we've had issues around town before. And lease conditions aren't something that we can enforce. That's only something their landlord can enforce, unless council makes a similar provision of a food requirement as part of their granting of special.
Unless we do what?
Unless you make, say, the 40% food requirement, unless you make that a part of their special condition, that's not something that we can bind them to if their landlord decides not to.
Right.
And as a procedural question, does that require them to amend this, or is it just part of a motion itself?
I believe, and I can defer to our zoning people who are more in charge of enforcing this, I believe whatever conditions they state from the dais will be the conditions for their zoning privilege to operate under this license.
You good? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if it's already in their lease agreement, I'm cool with making that a part of that condition with the 40%, with the minimum of 40%. Also, the hours of operation are very important, and the security in the parking lot.
What would, I guess from the council, what would be? Again, there hasn't been a vote.
So you asked what the motion
presuming,
looked
because
like.
I'm looking at faces, there's probably an inclination that way. What would be the hours? And
Can we
beyond
go?
the 40% requirement of food?
I think she showed us the hours
Can
at
we
one
see the
point.
hours, how they currently?
Well, no,
have them?
that's not the proper hours. I think that
Oh,
they
okay.
said that they would be willing to close on the weekdays at, what time did you say?
And we talked about the closing at what, 9:30?
Nah, that's John Phil.
No,
No,
not
the
that one. No,
alcohol
he was
sales
closing
stop at
alcohol
9.
sales stopping. I think that's
Yeah,
what he was
on a
doing.
Sunday
It was,
at 1.
Could, maybe, Mr. Holmes has made a suggestion, and I know we do not have a meeting next week, but would it be possible, if there's a feeling that the majority of the council is in favor of this, of us tabling and giving a week to let
I can agree with that.
the council being able to, us being able to amend your application so you know exactly what you would want to agree to, and the council would know exactly. I don't, if that's the spirit, again, I'm being presumptuous here, but I sense that's where we're heading. And
So,
And I'm sorry to interrupt. but
No, please.
We could, he knows the hours that they're going to be open. It isn't going to be until 2 a.m. every night, and we'll be glad to state that now. And if you're willing to amend it to those hours and the 40%, we are fine with doing that.
yeah, because
But we're at their disposal, however.
What are the proposed hours that
Yeah,
you would
so,
agree to?
like I said, our proposed hours of, and like I said, we're open to change everything here now, but it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is actually from 6 to 1 is regular. Saturday is actually 2, because obviously Roll Tide. We need to be open during lunch, so it's actually 2 to 2. And then on Sundays, we do open at 12 because we do brunch food, 12 to 12, but we don't. We just stay open for food.
But on Sundays here, you have to do what, 9:30?
Yeah, exactly. Cut our last call for liquor is at 9:30, but we stay open to 12.
So you're just rolling it back 1 hour is what you're saying?
Correct.
And I don't really think that we, even though it's a security issue, and I understand that, but I don't think we should stray so far from the model that we have allowed for other bars to we just gonna, I mean, we can't strip them, we can't rip them apart. I want to get them an opportunity. Like, I share chief concerns like nobody else. In the mayor concerns about public safety, I rode them forever. And for real, I wasn't even gonna do this, but y'all just spent $120-some-thousand. All right, and I think these respectful people who need an opportunity, the reservations got me a 6 to 8 capacity. I mean, we got just ride the strip. It's locked in down there. I want to give them opportunity, and the same opportunity with the passion I have right now is the same passion I have with closing them down. But I just kind of want to see what we could do. You know, but I don't want. I don't want to kill them that bad. If they say it's 6 to 1, then we don't have. I believe tabling this is gonna just throw them off from making money as soon as they need to. If they spend that much money, I believe they need to be making it as soon as they can. And so if the council agree, then and again, I told them how rough this could be if it goes sideways, but I think they're taking proper measures, and I want to see the real security they're getting. I want to suggest who you should get and not, because I've seen the TPD run.
I wanted to say, since speaking of time, just to also throw out the concept, because I think we're also thinking of lounge. When we do reservation, right? So once again, if we open at 6 to 8 is a reservation slot, right? 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 2. 12 o'clock from a sense, our building typically is not even taking people in, because being transparent, we typically are booked out right now for 3 months. So if you have a 12 o'clock reservation, we don't have the in and out traffic of what most places have. Because if we're booked at 12 o'clock, we're completely booked out for the rest of the evening.
I just want to make certain I'm clear. If we do vote tonight, a 40% food sales annually,
Yes, sir.
okay? And
1
then
a.m.
what would be your Monday through Thursday hours? And I want to make sure I'm getting it right, and so the record reflects that.
6 to 1.
Sir?
6 to 1.
6 to 1, and then Friday,
6 to 2.
6 to 2, and
Sunday, 12 to
12 to 12, yeah.
On Sunday.
Sunday, 12 to 12. What was
12 to 12 on
Saturday?
Sundays.
Two.
Okay.
So, could we, I would like to, does anybody else have any comments about
No,
the time?
I just said I would like to make the amendment to 40%, 12 to 12 Sunday, 12 to 1 every day except Friday, 12 to 2, and Saturday, 12 to 2. Is that right?
So you're cool with the 12 to 2 on Saturday? Okay.
You making that in a motion, Mr. Tyler?
I will make that motion.
Second.
So we have that as part of the conditional use. Any more questions or any clarifications?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. With those uses or conditional uses put into the ultimate approval, voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
As I said last week, I could support this if it was a restaurant, regular restaurant license, but I have to vote no.
Based on the low capacity, the location in a low-density bar area, and the provision for 40% food sales revenues, yes.
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 Okay, conditional use is approved. Clerk.
This approves a lounge retail liquor license at Crew Lounge in Tuscaloosa.
Move up.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Mr. Mills.
All right, good evening again, Mayor and Council. This is ABC alcohol application 23-048 for a lounge retail liquor class 1. Applicant is Racked Up LLC, DBA Crew Lounge, located at 6571 Highway 69 South, Suite A. This is a picture of a map location of our proposed location. The second picture is the street view. It's showing it is going into Old Lucy's restaurant. All my reports have been filed with the city clerk office. Chief Blackney will come get a report from the police department, followed by the applicant to answer any more additional questions, Mayor.
Chief Blankley.
Yes, Mayor, Council. Crime report, there's no instance dislocation over the past year. You go to the heat map. This is kind of out toward the PJ, so there's not going to be a whole lot. The police department is against this, as previously stated, for public safety reasons. That has not changed. We feel that it is not a good fit for the area for public safety, and it will strain us, and we do not believe it's a good decision. Thank you.
Okay. If the applicant would come forward. As Yogi Berra said, it's deja vu all over again. Okay, if you would, please give your name and address.
Again, Brad McGibney, 2800 Shades Crest Road, Birmingham, Alabama, 35216.
Okay.
Alan Bailey, 3203 Bowling Drive, Fairburn, Georgia, 30213.
Andrea Campbell, 5309 Baggett Drive, Pinson, Alabama.
Darren Kennedy, 1600 Farmington Road.
And I'll begin with you're aware of the hours of operations that were stated earlier in the conditional use?
Yes, sir.
And agree to those?
To the 40% food sales and to the hours. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Any questions of City Council?
Yes, sir. Mr. Campbell. Mrs. Campbell and Mr. Kennedy, both of you. Tell me about your tears. Why are you crying?
I worked hard for this. And it's a big accomplishment for me. And a lot of people don't know where I came from and what I had to go through to get to this point. And it's a lot of joy. It's a lot of happiness. My tears are joy because I just recently heard y'all tell somebody no. But then for me to hear yes, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I do the right thing with this business. I ain't just saying that. I mean it. No disrespect to the chief, but I'm going to put my foot down if I have to. And if I have to we already have a dress code in place, but if I have to make it even stricter, I will.
You have a dress code for the patrons?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. You deserve this. You supposed to have this. Don't ever let nobody make you feel like you're not good enough and that you shouldn't have it.
Yes, sir.
You should have it. And I want to affirm you today, to tell you that.
Any other comments or questions? All right. Thank you all. Thank you. And I will say, considering being a county high graduate, the accomplishments of getting it through a majority central city council.
Yeah. We don't really want to celebrate that too much.
Speaks highly of you. So
You do have one wildcat. That turned the vote.
That's right.
Voting, Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Application's approved. Good luck. Consent agenda, clerk.
This approves items A through J on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting, Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, consent agenda is approved. Public, I tell you what, would you mind if we took like a 5-minute
Not at all. Not
a
at all.
recess, and then,
No, when we
as
get-
Ms. Johnson reminded me, I need a motion and second to recess for 5 minutes.
Motion, second.
Been moved and second to recess for 5 minutes. Voting, Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 No.
Council, I call that a favorable vote.
Everybody, when you get your talking out of the way, we come back.
I was gonna say, when we get back, homes will be built at North Philly. Second.
It's been moved and second to reconvene the meeting. Mr. Tyner had to leave the meeting, and so certainly at this point, we wish him a safe trip home to have to go address the matter, but he will be certainly missed. And so, but at this point, we will continue the meeting. Have we had a vote on it?
We have. We've had a motion and a second to reconvene.
All right, so we're ready to rock and roll. Public hearing, clerk.
This grants tentative approval of North Village, a planned unit development.
Can we get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moves. I've already told them good luck on this project now. We need to at least get it on the table. Mr. Pons.
The first house has already been built.
Yeah.
You better hurry up and approve.
Yeah, there you go. So this is a planned unit development. It's going to consist of 131 single-family residential lots, 24 townhome lots, 2 commercial lots, and 9 open space lots on about 80.5 acres, located on Old Colony Road, east of 4205 Northridge Road, and south of 200 George Hall Lane in Council District 3. The location of the property today, just annexed into the city, off of Old Colony Road, currently vacant. This is the adjacent property. So this is, the commercial use is going to be 2 commercial lots. It's going to have some community features within, walking path, benches, 20-plus acres of nature area, street lights, sidewalks, 2 off-street parking spaces per lot. The residential piece will have 131 single-family homes, 24 townhomes, 9 open space lots. The proposed townhome price range is $380,000, and then the home price is about $500,000. This is the layout of the property. On the right-hand side of your screen, the eastern portion of the property, you're going to have the townhome lots. On the north side, adjacent to Old Colony Road, are the 2 commercial lots. And then you have the green space kind of in between the development as a whole. This is closer to that commercial piece. There is going to be a roundabout, and then there is a traffic light that's being proposed at that intersection. And then they are proposing an 8-foot wide concrete sidewalk along Old Colony Road that extends even past their property all the way down to Northridge Road to tie into that existing 8-foot wide sidewalk on that western side. Each townhome will have guest parking area in that area, and then each townhome will have 2 residential parking spaces per townhome. Here are the conceptual elevations for the single-family dwellings, as well as the townhomes, and then the commercial space. And this does conform to framework. Framework identifies this as suburban residential and limited commercial, as you can see on the future land use character map. And this was unanimously recommended for approval in May by Planning Commission.
Mr. Crowe, this is nice.
All right, if the applicant is here, if you would, please come forward and give your name and address.
Good evening, Tom Sims with Longleaf Engineering, 432 65th Street, Tuscaloosa. Zach did an excellent job of going over basically all the components of the subdivision. We're excited to get it approved and moving forward. I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions, Mr. Sims?
Just a comment, Mr. Mayor. As I was driving into Tuscaloosa, I was watching and listening to you all. This is going to be a very nice development.
We agree.
Very nice.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Sims. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Seeing none, voting, Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
Yes.
There is a marine obstacle course running kind of through the edge of that property, so I'm assuming it'll be okay to continue charging through there with rifles. Yes.
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 I think that was I think that's, I don't even know how to follow that, Mr. Buzz.
Mr. Holmes, did you get that worked into the conditional?
The good news is you have a nice 8-foot shared path that'll take you all the way up to the Randall Trail. So there's plenty of room to run as well. Good luck. Resolution and ordinances not of a general nature or permanent operation. Clerk.
This approves job class specification for arts and entertainment.
So move.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
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 Resolution is adopted. Clerk.
This reimburses the local chapter of the NAACP for city fees related to the annual Juneteenth parade.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second by Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This authorizes a cooperative maintenance agreement with AlDOT regarding portions of McFarland Boulevard, Skyland Boulevard, and Highway 69.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second by Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This authorizes a maintenance agreement with AlDOT regarding the cooperative maintenance agreement for city improvements made within AlDOT right-of-way under the Hugh Thomas Bridge.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This will authorize a contract with TTL Incorporated for professional environmental assessment services.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This authorizes a services contract with STC Worldwide.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This will authorize a minor public works contract with Building Specialties Company.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This authorizes a minor public works contract with Freeman Sheet Metal Incorporated.
Motion.
Second.
Been moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This authorizes amendment number 1 to professional services contract with Garner and Associates Engineering.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This authorizes a minor public works contract with Premier Service Company Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This authorizes a minor public works contract with J&L Tree Service.
Motion.
Second. Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This approves the purchase of equipment, supplies, and services.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This authorizes disbursement from District 2 improvements funds for the back-to-school drive, including hygiene packs.
So moved.
Second.
Thank
Moved
you.
and second. Voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This authorizes a disbursement from District 2 improvements funds for the Stillman College cheerleaders.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Go Tigers. Yes.
Yes. Still
Resolution's adopted. Clerk.
This will amend the resolution of May 17, 2021, entitled "A Resolution Establishing Rules of Procedure for Conducting City Council Meetings."
Motion.
Second.
wanna
would like
make-
to-
I want to
Second.
make, this is one we want to make a motion to table, right? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I want to make, I want to make a motion to table this because we hadn't even had a chance to talk about it in the committee meeting. And I know how Lee and Norman love to talk about everything. So I think we should discuss that, right, Lee?
I can second that
Better not
motion.
put that on there. So I want that same opportunity for the council. I didn't get a chance to dig deep into that. I would like the opportunity. So if we could table that for the next council, which will be on the 27th, at least so we can table it for discussion.
Is that a motion?
Yes,
And a second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Discussion on the tabling.
So I was not here when this was actually opened up for discussion.
There was no.
It wasn't.
There
it
wasn't a
wasn't.
lot, can I,
Huh?
Yes, sir.
there wasn't a lot of discussion. Go ahead, finish it.
Right.
I'll
So-
Well, we
elaborate.
haven't had a group discussion.
I'll elaborate.
And so while I was away and just I kind of overheard some conversation about this, and I spoke to Councilor Turner today about this, and I also had the opportunity to speak to Councilor Lanier and Councilor Busby. My concern with this is to make sure that when there are, for instance, I'm over properties, and then something that should be in properties gets moved to another committee, I want to make sure that I need to know what's mine. I don't want stuff just moving just because somebody feels like, hey, they can get a yes. I think we all need to be abreast. And I think that as a council, we have to be mindful of what we say yes to and what we say no to so that we can best serve the constituents of our city.
Any other, we have a motion and second. Any other
I'm
comments?
more
Motion
discussion.
and second for what?
And I see we've retained the crowd for this exhilarating topic.
Yeah, there you go.
This is nearly as boring a topic as we could have, but that's fine. So this is a motion that clarifies the ability of the committee chairman to exercise the final say-so on what goes on the committee agenda unless the council president overrules it.
Now that I don't have,
And it allows
with
any
that right
committee
there.
member.
I don't have a problem with that right there.
It just still has so many bit, I just don't think this is the proper, place to go into a full discussion about it. I'm gonna need time for you to unpack that a little bit more, so, you know what I mean?
I'm glad to unpack it here if you don't want to.
I would like to say this, and respectfully, I feel like you have asked for further discussion or for things to be tabled on some topics that in my opinion, I feel like we're boring, or I feel like I got it the first time, I don't need to hear it again, whatever the case may be. However, and I won't be here on the 27th. I just want to say that. But I'm going to send my questions and concerns ahead of time so everybody will know them and they can be addressed at that point. But I would like to know as a body how we all feel about it, even if this is what we are currently already doing and we just need to clarify it and put it in writing and tighten it up. I want to know like exactly how will this change? What happens if we can't get in touch with council president? What happens if I don't have the support of a council person to put something on? Whatever the case may be. I don't want to unpack all of that right here.
Yeah.
I just want to do it at the committee or pre-council, whatever the case may be. That's all I was asking for.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my thing. I had a few questions, so I wanted to take my time to do it.
So Lee, are you going to,
I wish we had addressed that at pre-council, and we could have done it then.
I wish it was on like a.
Well, it's already on the agenda at this point. Well, either way, I'm fine with, like I said, that was just my
We can
concerns.
table
I
it.
just
don't
wanted
know
a
if we
chance to.
Table it for 2 weeks. I can wait to Raven get back. I want to make sure it's tabled so we can get all our opinions. So maybe if.
And then respectfully, our council president is not here. So I wanted to be able to, that's what I was saying, I want to be able to talk about it with everybody. And I didn't even know that he would be leaving tonight for an emergency.
I don't think any of us did.
No,
Well,
yeah, that's
I
what
mean,
emergencies are.
There is a motion and a second to table. I think the
27th.
next step in the procedure is a vote on the table.
Okay, so this will table it to the council agenda to the 27th, voting Mr. Wilson on the tabling.
no?
Yes.
No.
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 Yes.
What do you have? I have 4-2. Okay, we confirmed it 4-2, so now it is back to the resolution itself. Any other discussion?
Yes, sir. My discussion on this is the clarity that I would like for this is to make sure that when it comes to the agenda items,
You should have tabled it. I mean, you want to discuss it some more?
the reason why I decided not to is because I could also give an amendment to this particular resolution.
What, I'm sorry, what was it?
What I was saying is that I can be able to give an amendment to that resolution to make sure that things that come to my committee, for instance, that it is given proper time and proper notice.
I think that was the point, wasn't it? If you're chair of a committee, that you're giving
To me,
time
See,
to
and
look
I-
for?
this
me,
is
for
why I
us to
feel like we
accept
should have
that,
just
if
brought this
if we
before a
accept
committee.
that, we have you, Lee, and Norman on one committee, on two of the most
This is why I think it
influential
should have went
committees
before.
in this
Okay.
district. Let's be honest. So if we need something on the agenda and Lee say I don't want it on there, or Norman say I don't want it on there, and it's a must, or it's something that could really help one of our districts, then that's all power. That's too much power. I got this, Mr. Fair, right now. Let me finish. Let me finish. Okay, so I understand well. Okay, so that's too much power for one. That's why they elected 7 people, right? So we could all decide, right? And so that's what I'm saying. Even if I'm not on the committee, I could talk about it or suggest something. But if the committee head is all powerful, and then we put the council president in a bad spot, and it kills the flow. When we could have had this discussion at a committee. That's why I said table. But
Yeah,
of course,
it's a
y'all
lot I
want
would
to
like to
discuss it
say.
right here instead of doing the right thing by tabling it. That's crazy to me. I mean, I don't think Norman, Lee, Cassius, Matthew, none of us should have all power of a decision concerning just one committee. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then think about the city staff or the workers that have to wait to email us something and get our approval. You're going to miss me some days because I don't just sit there and hold my phone. But hey, approve this. Yes. Approve. I mean, I think we should. That's why it was a lot of questions that we should. And first of all, Mr. Busby would have a whole baby if somebody put something on the agenda and not ran it by him first. Yeah. Norman would have to.
Our suspended rule, our suspended rule.
Norman, like, but I'm just saying. So that's what I'm saying. So we should understand that then.
So what are the current, and this would be a legal question, what are the current rules of decorum, Mr. Scott?
Yeah.
I'll wait until I get the microphone so Ms. Johnson doesn't yell at me. The current rules of council procedure state that, I'm sorry, let me find my spot. I had it mostly ready. I thought you may ask me this at some point here. Items may be placed on the agenda of a committee by any committee member, the mayor, or city staff in accordance with the approval process that may be established by the mayor. That's our deadlines as to when to get things in typically.
So what will be the change?
Under this amendment, the committee chair would have final approval. So a city staff, the mayor, or a council member place something on a committee agenda, the chairperson could say that item is not approved for this agenda. That's the way I believe it's drafted. I believe that was the intent, Mr. Busby.
The intent was to keep separate the executive and the legislative branch. And it was prompted, we had an incident a week or so ago. I had told the CFO not to put an item on the agenda of finance because I thought it would be embarrassing to the city and the university. And and we've all operated, I think, on the assumption that committee chairman made the final decision on agendas. After I had done that, it appeared, and Mayor, I'm assuming, I don't know who put it on, but somebody put it back on there. And it brought up the question that we looked around and we said, wait a minute, we've always thought the committee chairman exercised final say on the committee agenda, that any member could put it on there. The president, as it's written in here, can override that, but it keeps separate the executive and the legislative branch. I mean, we wouldn't put agenda items on the executive branch staff meeting. Consequently, our committee meetings are internal to the legislative branch. And there's a provision that any of those people mentioned can put something on the full agenda, or any member or the committee chairman or the council president can overrule them on the committee agenda. That's what this was about.
If the chairman is being unreasonable, whoever that chairman is of whatever committee, that item could be brought directly to the council for an up or down vote, could it not?
Absolutely.
It could circumvent the committee, and it could be brought to this body.
But without a public group discussion, though.
A public what?
Without a public group discussion.
But you could bring it up in pre-council, you could do and say, well, or you could put it on the agenda if.
On the council agenda.
That's right.
Exactly, and I know that, and I've done that before, in my first term. So yeah, I get that, but
What you mean you get?
I get that I could just put it on this, but then I'm taking a risk. And see, this is why I think that it should,
It should have been this.
Yeah, because Mr. Busby, I spoke to you before, but then when I'm hearing the discussions and concerns of others, now I feel like, okay, maybe we should have slowed down and dissected it. Because yeah, I can just put anything on the agenda, but then we haven't had a chance to have a group discussion to get everybody's input and everybody's thoughts and everybody's views. So now I'm sitting here calling for a vote, and no one has the backstory or the full details because we didn't get to talk about that in a committee. So now you're taking a chance of whatever was important to you, important enough to be on an agenda, to not get it passed.
And I do want to address, and Mr. Busby, if there's been a miscommunication, then that's on me. I know that you and I discussed that item the week before,
Executive session.
and I believe that you and I had the discussion that you needed a week to resolve the problem. We would put it on the following week. I asked Carly or Ms. Standers to include that. And when it went out in the Thursday, we send out, sometime on Thursday afternoon, you get a pre-copy of what we believe the agenda to be. I did not receive any notice that there was any objections to it, so I thought we had met the timeline, and was not the concern you just shared with me is the first time that I've heard that concern from you. That certainly wasn't anyone's intent, but I believe we followed what was prescribed to us. And then when it was sent out to the council for the pre-approval stage before it's published on Friday, we didn't hear that you did not want that back on the agenda. So if there was a miscommunication on our end, then I take responsibility, but I don't think that was our intention. We thought we were following what was discussed.
I appreciate that. And I didn't re-look at the agenda because I thought it had been taken off. And so, again,
You thought what had been taken off, Mr. Busby?
the item that I wanted removed till it had been worked out behind the scenes. But, okay, so not still. And this is, I'm glad to see everybody's gone. Surely everybody at home's fallen asleep because this is incredibly boring. But this is internal council procedures. And I did not anticipate it at all as objectionable or even contentious. I thought this was crossing T's and dotting I's.
Because, let me say this, because as I spoke to both persons, my thought process was that this is what we were doing anyway, because when I
No, you
want to
didn't,
put,
'cause we talked
hold on,
about
let me finish.
You're lying.
Let me finish.
Say it.
What I was thinking is that when I put something on the agenda, I go to the chairperson anyway to ask them, is that okay? When I wanted to talk about the Western Riverwalk, I asked Norman, is that all right? When I wanted to get to my funds, I said, Lee, is that okay? And can we put that on the agenda? What I'm hearing now, my concern is that there's a circumventing or the appearance of a circumventing of authority and power that concerns me. And I believe that we should live with peace with all men. And whether we agree or disagree, we should live in peace. Now, I don't know what the intentions were for this vote because I wasn't in town. But I do know that there should be a level of respect we have a mayor, council form of government, and there should be a level of respect on each side of the spectrum. that concerns me that this has come to here. Now, Mr. Holmes, you clarified for me what we are doing and what it is that is being proposed. Now, what I thought was being proposed is what we were already doing, regardless of the conversations that I've had. Now, we're going to vote tonight, and if there's a tie, that means we still have to keep on voting.
No, it doesn't. There's a tiebreaker provision here.
So I understand the rules of decorum and the rules of parliamentary procedure. So we have to come to the conclusion of what it is that we're really trying to do.
Can I say one thing, very briefly? I think this codifies what I thought the rules already were. And that's all I care about. And again, if you go through a committee and it's voted down, you can still put it on the council agenda.
But we have the opportunity to have a discussion with all of our colleagues about that particular agenda item. Just like now, I'm hearing everybody's conversations and concerns at once, but this is the first time, and that really makes a difference.
Right. So
I don't know.
Table it made sense. You know what I mean? We never heard anything about it. We should.
And that's the reason we have the committees in
You
the
know what
first
I'm saying, Raven? That's what Raven said.
No, we didn't. No.
We didn't. No, this just went straight to agenda. We hadn't even talked. No, we had.
So,
But this is a good example of what happens when things just go straight to the agenda sometimes. Like, that's why we have the procedure of having the committee meetings.
So let me ask my parliamentary procedural guru, Madam City Clerk, if there was a substitute motion that was made in lieu of the motion that has been already made, wouldn't we do the substitute motion, vote on the substitute motion first, and then come back around and vote on the motion that has already been?
I'm sorry, I need you, can you say that one more time?
All right. I'm going in the word of, in parliamentary procedure, I am asking you, is it the rule of the city that although there has been a motion and a second to go ahead and vote, if there was made a substitute motion outlining tabling again, or this motion does not carry, couldn't there be another motion that has been made?
Okay, so I don't know if I'm understanding your question all the way, but let me try, okay?
Okay.
So right now, we have a motion that has failed to table this item.
Correct.
So now the original motion is as I introduced it,
Mhm.
okay? If for whatever reason, someone wants to rescind their vote for the tabling, that's one thing.
Mhm.
If someone wants to reconsider, that's something.
Right.
But as far as a substitute you can't substitute motions. That's not how that works.
Mhm.
But you did say that we can rescind rescind the motion that failed.
Yes, you
basically.
could.
Okay.
So right now, I have Mr. Lanier making the motion to table, and Ms. Howard second that motion, right? There were 4 no votes to table. So since that motion failed, if for whatever reason we want to reconsider tabling the item, either Mr. Lanier or Ms. Howard would need to rescind their vote or they would need to rescind, someone that voted no would need to rescind their vote
Ms.
to not
Johnson.
table.
There is a motion and a second on
Yes,
the floor to vote on this item.
to vote on it, yes.
Can we call the question? I don't know what the procedure is.
So what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Question. I've called the question.
I mean,
If there is a tie vote, it's my understanding that the mayor would have a vote in this. I don't think it's appropriate for the mayor to vote on an issue of council policy and procedure. Therefore, I can go ahead and give you a spoiler alert. I will abstain from the vote because I think it's only appropriate that that all 7 council members determine your policy It's not, so please know that I respect the lines, and so I don't want to
Much
cross into
obliged.
that territory.
So, Mr. Mayor,
What happens if it is a tie?
then we have to keep voting until we get a.
At this point,
If it ties and he abstains, what happens?
If he ties and the mayor abstains, it stays a tie, and in that event, it would fail.
It fails.
Basically.
so in order for us to rescind, somebody that voted no to.
Would have to basically rescind their vote no, which would essentially bring it back to the table for us to reconsider.
Okay, so it's on.
There's a motion and a second to vote on this as it appears.
On that,
And
yes.
is there, I'm gonna go ahead and call the vote unless there is
Wait, I have another question.
any other motions to amend or table beyond.
Rescind or reconsider, or any of that.
So if it fails, it just fails, and we
Can-
just
Can
bring
I
it back
ask this
another day?
question?
Okay.
If there is a vote and this passes, although everyone is upset and not happy and we're all hungry and it's 8 o'clock.
It's my bedtime.
If I, then could we turn around and make a gentleman and lady agreement between all of us that we will discuss this on the 23rd?
Oh, y'all want
And-
to discuss it?
No, listen,
Oh, okay.
let me finish.
On the
Patrick.
23rd?
We will discuss this.
On the 27th.
And this can be, this could be changed again
Exactly.
if it needs to be. Or we just, I mean, because, I mean, Kip's not here, which I would like to hear him weigh in on this personally. But
So since I,
nothing is permanent. It's permanent
Mr.
until
Tyner
we
had
decide
to
change
go
it.
deal with a family emergency.
I'm going to respectfully say that I want all 7 people present. And once all 7 people are present, then I believe that then we should cast our vote. And that will be done.
I won't be here on the 27th.
I don't think we can do that, can we?
If there's a motion to reconsider,
He's gonna vote, it sounds to me like he's gonna vote no, or what, it's gonna be it's gonna be a tie, isn't it?
I don't know.
So it failed.
Vote.
I don't know, that's why we vote.
Yeah, I understand.
Kind of see how it comes out.
It's what it sounds like. I'm
but I
reading tea
do,
leaves here.
and my conviction is my personal
I understand that.
conviction.
I understand
I
that.
get it.
I get it.
This should not be this.
I just want to say, I don't feel like it's contentious. I just feel like I just wanted a group discussion, that was all.
I'm going to ask Mr. Holmes to read on a motion to reconsider, and then from the policy rules and procedures, and then after that, unless there is a motion to reconsider, I'm going to call a vote, and I'll begin that vote with Mr. Wilson unless there's another direction. Mr. Holmes?
Yes, sir. The council's rules of procedure state,
Yes, sir.
a motion to reconsider must be made by a member who voted with the prevailing side in regard to the matter. The motion to reconsider must be made at the same or succeeding regular meeting of council held within 6 months of the date of the meeting at which the matter to be considered was voted on. So if a member of the, if a person who voted with the 4 that voted nay on tabling wishes to reconsider, then the vote on tabling can be revoted by this council.
Say it one more time.
One of the 4 of us has to say that we want to reconsider our vote, which means you'll vote again on a table.
Right.
Potentially, correct, Scott?
Is
So
there,
it's on
do
y'all.
I
Yes,
hear
sir.
any motion to reconsider from the prevailing side that voted against tabling earlier in the meeting? Hearing none, beginning the vote with Mr. Wilson on the resolution.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 No.
I got 4-2.
Yeah.
Okay, the resolution passes 4-2. Clerk?
Give me 1 second. This authorizes execution of an amended joint funding agreement with the University of Alabama for the Northington Property Access Road Improvements Project, Sections 1 and 2.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and second, voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Resolutions adopted. No ordinances, oh, I'm sorry, we do. Ordinances, resolutions of general nature or permanent operation for introduction. Clerk.
This appoints and reappoints members to various boards and commissions.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Yes. Do I hear
Yes.
call for unanimous consent?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Appointments are made. Clerk.
This amends Section 20-54B of the Code of Tuscaloosa.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second, voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Do I hear call for unanimous consent?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Code is amended. Clerk.
This amends Exhibits A and B of Section 19-42 and 19-60A of the Code of Tuscaloosa regarding job classifications for arts and entertainment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Do I hear a call for unanimous consent?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved in second, voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
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 Exhibits are adopted. Auditing accounts.
This authorizes the payment of bills.
Pay Kips bills.
Second.
Moved in second, voting Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
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 Bills are paid. Citizens' comments and other communications. Any citizens wish to address their city council tonight?
Everybody's asleep.
Seeing none. Subject to the exercise of mayoral veto and ordinances of a general nature or permanent operation, all applicable departments hereby order to otherwise implement council policy this day enacted. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Moved in second, voting Mr. Lanier.
Yes.
No. Yes, yes, I rescind that
Yes.
vote, yes.
Meeting's adjourned.
John, if you would agree to